What if I told you that you are wasting your time? What if I told you that all these things that you are doing, that you're trying to put in place, that you're thinking about, you're really wasting your time doing it? Like this, what we doing from taking survival skills to transforming them into like healthy tools that we use throughout our life is a waste of time if we do not do this one thing. That's what I want us to kind of unpack today. And the reason I want us to unpack it is because it is simple. This is something that all of us learn how to do when we first start to communicate or we first learn how to process and different things like that. And that's writing stuff down. I know we have our phones where we could put things into our phones, and some of us are really good with that. Some of us are really structured about that and can do it. But there's some of us who physically need to write. That's what I want us to kind of unpack today. Welcome to the process method. I'm Tiffany and I'm your host. Today we're going to talk about something that's impactful for our brains and for ourselves. And today's episode, I want you to understand that this basic skill has a heavy impact on your brain, on your body, on your productivity, on you getting to know yourself and figuring out and how to navigate yourself with the survival skills that we had and now using them as healthy tools so that we can live a better quality life that we see for ourselves, right? And that thing that I want to talk about is called writing. Writing is such an impactful thing for us as human beings. According to a study from the American Psychological Association, they found that writing a to-do list helps reduce cognitive clutter. All that mental noise that make it hard to focus, it's like a tidying up your thoughts. It's freeing up 15 to 20% more working memory. Now, if we're trying to do something for ourselves, right? We have to remember that we're doing this, but it's showing that writing stuff down helps you clear out those thoughts so that you can actually have space for what's important. Now, according to this Harvard Business Review, it says people who write out their daily plans are up to 23% more productive. Writing your plans down help you be more productive. You get to see it regularly. You get to go back. Your handwriting lets you know the mood that you were in. Your handwriting lets you know, is this a quick thought or is this writing has life in it. When you have to go back, you are connected to a memory. You are connected to something, just like pictures. What pictures do for us, it helps us remember. It reminds us of something. 23% more likely to be productive. And it helps you declutter your brain 15 to 20%. But in the midst of having that space, I know that I'm going to still have life. There's still other things that I have to do. Like this goal or this action is important to me, but how do I inculcate this to be important to me every day and show up so I can be productive towards it and that I can keep working towards whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Writing it down helps you not get so anxious and overwhelmed. It reduces the stress. So, a research from the University of California shows that writing down your tasks can reduce perceived stress by 25%. Now, why is that? Because the brain stops spinning through unfinished to do lists when it sees a plan it can trust. So, now I know what I want to do, and I'm freeing up space so that I can do that. And as I'm writing it down, I can see where I'm going. So it sees the plan that I have in place, and I can trust it. I can trust what I'm doing because if I go left on this way, whatever I feel from going left, I'm gonna remember that. I don't think that's quite the way. But then I go right. Yeah, it's some bumps in there, but okay, these bumps is I actually didn't know how that worked. I need to figure that part out, or whatever the case may be. You're learning to trust yourself, trusting that you can actually do this because you're seeing the results. Because one, you know what you're looking at. That's already three things that we learn just by writing and what it does for your brain so that you could be productive. Now, while you going through those ups and downs and whatever it is that you're doing and you're experiencing something, how do you feel when you know everything that's going on around you or what you got to do, or when you know that you are being productive and you're getting stuff done and you're figuring stuff out and you're not as stressed? Now you feel like you could what? You could relax. You could sleep more because you trust the process that you on, and you what you learning, you implementing, and you guiding yourself, you getting through that. Now you can sleep peacefully. Now you can sleep a little bit more. So here's another study. It's already hard trying to go to sleep, right? Because you got so much ahead of you. So a study by Baylor University found that people who wrote a to-do list before bed fell asleep faster on average. You are trusted that where you're going, you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, you kind of have an idea of what you're going to experience. So you can kind of relax now because writing it down, you know what you're looking for. You done cleared out your mind and know what you got to focus on. And then you creating the navigation of where you're going, and you're confident in yourself. You trust that you know what is happening, there's what's going on. So now you can relax and you can go to sleep. So now that your brain is free, it has some type of structure, it has some job to do because your brain loves to resolve, your brain loves to protect, your brain loves to make you happy. Your brain your brain could be the best thing or the worst thing, but you are the creator of what your brain does. Most of us have that ability to do that, or you can train yourself to have that. But another part that came out from the Association for Psychological Science said that it helps you remember more. We retain 20 to 30% more information when writing by hand versus typing. That's according to the Association for Psychological Science. So this stuff is not just people experience, this is real life. Science backs this up. So not only do we feel it within our body as individual, but there's also science behind why we react in the way that we're reacting to it. So what I'm saying to you, the whole point of this gesture in this conversation is we need to go back to writing things down. Typing, yes, typing does it. And honestly, when I'm typing, I love the digital world and things like that. I love using my phone. I'm always on my phone. But I learned that even when I'm typing, I have autocorrect, or to make things faster, the word would just type out for me and I could just press space and keep going. I'm not training my brain to think and to process. I'm not necessarily holding myself to accountability because I just feel for the moment and not process that feeling. Processing your feelings does not always look like crying and talking and losing your mind. It doesn't always look like that. Processing your feelings can be calming. Processing your feelings can give you structure. Processing your feelings is what keeps you soft because we want to understand ourselves. We want to get to know ourselves. I have to do something about the version that I have in my head of me. And in order for me to do that, I need to take the time to first figure out me, figure out who I am. And once I can do that, then I can create a path to figure myself out. And through that path, I learn how to trust myself. Through that path, I learn how to understand me. So I'm trusting myself. So now that I trust myself, I'm not as anxious. I'm not as worried if I'm doing this, if I'm doing that, if I'm doing. No, because it is written proof of my progress. I see my progress. I'm reminded of my progress and I can inculcate these things in my life because I thought them out. I'm not as stressed. And when I'm not stressed, I eat better. I sleep better. I have a more functioning life where I can appreciate things better. That's not going to change unless I do something about the vision that I have of myself in my mind. I am no longer in survival mode. I am in a healthy place. And I like to be in this healthy place as long as possible. So, in order for me to be in this healthy place as long as possible, I have to create systems and I have to know myself so that this can continue to function here. I don't have control over my whole life, but what I can control, I want to be able to control it in a way that I stay in this place. And the best way for me to do that is to write things down. Everything has a manual. Everything has structure. When you go to your job, they have a way for you to find information that if this was to happen, this is what you do. If you want to go here, this is what you must do. That is my guide. I am writing my guide down so I can learn how I function. It is nobody else's responsibility to understand my structure of how I go. I have to do that. I have to understand me. And that's not in a selfish way, but that's in a realistic way. You have to be able to understand you to function. And one of the best ways to do it is to write it down. Reading is fundamental. Reading is good for you. Read those old diaries. Read those old journals. Read those old planners and tell me how you felt, where you were, all different type of things like that. Some of my notes I don't even go back and read in my phone unless I use a word in my phone that under search in your notes that attach to that. Like for example, um, overwhelmed. All of my journal and my notes that have the word overwhelmed will then pop up. And then I get to scroll through them. But when I go to my old journals or my old diaries, I still have my old journals and diaries from when I was a kid, when I was younger. I always kept a planner. I always kept a journal, like always. The ones with the cute locks, the one, all of that brings back a moment of that girl, that woman, that love that I have as being a woman and being a girl, safe to write in my journal. I don't care if somebody read my journal. At the moment I did. It was like, oh my God, you read my journal. How dare you? It was like an invade of privacy. But it meant so much to me that you knowing it felt like an invasion of privacy because that's me. That's who I am. That's the part that nobody knows. Only me know. Think about that now times 10. Think about how much you have grown and how much you have accumulated and learned about yourself, and write that down. And then come back in a few years and read it. See the handwriting and how you were rushing to get this thought out, or how you were so emotional that you forgot this sentence. This sentence is written wrong because you was just so excited, or at that time you ain't know how to spell that word, or whatever the case may be. You are going to go back to a place of this feeling. Why you are behaving the way you are, or why you should not do that again, or why you should do that again. Writing in your planners and your journal of what it is that you need to do, when you need to have it done, and what's your expectancy, you are more likely to do it. And as you're doing it, you are slowly chipping away that insecurity. You are slowly chipping away that thought process of overwhelming and stress. Or am I keeping up? Am I doing this? Am I healing? You got the proof right here. The proof is right here. Because when you go back and you read in these books, or when you go through it and you're reminding yourself, September, I couldn't do this, but I'm here now in November. In June, I said I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to have friends. I wanted to genuinely connect with people. And when I started to implement that, oh, it was hard and it was awkward. I apologized so much. And my friends get on me and they will say things like, oh, you don't have to apologize. It's okay, whatever, whatever. But it is November. November. And I have been doing something at least 1 or 2 weekends out the month with friends. Whether it's going to events where it's going to have wine, whether it's going on 5K runs with somebody, even if it is going out with having girls' night, like I have that. And when I go back and I'm reading this in my planner of having an actual an experience of what I want to have. Oh, I want to genuinely connect with people, or I want to be around people, or I want to have these connection with people. And I see that. Do you know how that makes me feel to see that I progress, that I actually stuck to what I said and I'm doing it? It puts me all back into that place. And I love that for me. I really do. I love that for me. That's trust that I'm building. And it's keeping me on that narrow road to actually keep going. So I see the proof. I feel the proof. I am the fucking proof. And I just need people. I need to not forget what you need to understand. I need to understand and really appreciate getting back to writing. I'm not writing full stories and all this other stuff in my plan. I'm just writing about my day. That's relieving stress. You're getting it out your mind. You letting it flow, but you're also talking about what it is to how you felt, how you were being a human. Can you imagine your kids going back to read some of this stuff? Or the information that you have that can be useful to your neighbor? Like, that's what I mean. Like, what writing does for our brain and how it helps us be better, be more productive, be less stressed, where we can sleep. And anybody who knows what that does for your body, that alone, sleeping and not stressing and being more productive, it helps us live better and longer. It helps us live better and longer. So this is what I'm going to challenge to you. Go find you a notebook, a planner, a journal, whatever it is. You got to start. And the more you start, and of course you do it and you get involved into that, the more you know what you need and what you will like, the type of planners you like. If you're a planner person or a journal person, or you want to create your own, whatever, you ain't gonna know until you try it. But I challenge you to go and get something today and write it down. Write it down. Right now, I'm using a planner from She Who Elevates, right? I have a friend who created a planner. And when I tell you I love this planner, I do. It has motivation in there. It has a reflection page. It has a lot. It has a lot in there of ways to actually make you question yourself and realize who it is that you are and what you want to be and what you want to do. So I'll put her information um in the description so that you can go and check it out. Get you a planner and monitor your progress. Look at how you write these things down and learn the story behind you. I promise you it won't. I promise you what it's going to teach you about yourself is living proof. It's scientifically proven. It's you. You are your own reality. But that's it. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for listening to my rants. And let me know what it is that y'all doing in y'all planners, or ideas that you came up with, or different things like that. Like, share the knowledge, as I always say. Like and subscribe and share, because you never know who could use this. All right. Bye.